Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of True Sight, your go-to place for all of the
True
best
Sight.
and most bearded guests, whatever the fuck this show is. What is it called?
Twitch Talk.
Twitch Talk.
This is not
I
True
host
Sight.
a Dota show on Wednesdays called True Sight. You wouldn't know it, but that's what I do. Anyway, welcome to Twitch Talk. Thank you, my wonderful and helpful co-host, Cyrus Muller, for keeping me in track. We got a great show for you guys today. We've got none other than TigerWriter and Scarfino back for another edition. He just couldn't get enough of Buttman the first time. Wait, is that a joke that the viewers know about?
I think we mentioned it.
Did we
last
mention
time.
Butt Guy?
I think we need to mention it again. I think we could get Scarfino to mention it this time.
Scarfino-
He also made Facebook.
He did make Facebook. For those of you who aren't aware, Will, our technical director, looks a little bit like Mark Zuckerberg, and Scarfino has decided to refer to him as Facebook Buttman.
It's the truth.
Scarfino, regale our viewers with the story of Buttman, so everybody's in on the joke.
I came in the first time I was on this show beforehand to test everything, and you were on a couch. You were on the casting couch last time. And then the guy shimmied in with his ass facing the camera, and I was like, whoa, hold on. That's a nice ass. Who's that? And then you guys told me, and then I called him Buttman.
That's
I
a
kept
nice
requesting
booty.
Buttman. Yeah.
TigerWriter sadly missed out on the butt, but he's seen Will several
But I
times.
saw Mark Zuckerberg today.
Well, guys,
Can't get away.
we got a great show for you today. If you're not familiar with what we do here, every Friday we bring in a couple of lovely guests from the world of Twitch to talk about their careers, their memes, their most embarrassing moments in chat, the things that they're excited about for this year, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough, isn't it? It's
Is
enough.
it?
No.
It's enough for me. I mean, I get paid to do it.
Unbutton one more button on your shirt.
Oh, yes, we talked about how I don't have an undershirt, so I will be doing the rest of the show
Thank you.
like this.
You got a button on your
Looks pretty
pants.
good.
It's fine.
Oh, God.
How about
Don't
we start with
encourage
some
him.
questions?
Don't encourage him.
If you don't
It's not pretty unbuttoned,
wrangle
though.
this group
Oh, it might
quickly,
be.
it's
Even though
gonna
I'm
get
wearing
out of-
pants.
Okay.
That's for the viewers to speculate.
All right, getting back on track. Now, for those
You know
viewers
better.
who don't actually know how you guys started in the streaming world, can you run us down a little bit on when you started streaming and how you got into it?
Do you want to go first?
I didn't hear what the question was.
She wants to know how you started streaming, how long you've been doing it, and what you do. Talk about yourself.
I can't talk about that. No, I started streaming. It was November of 2014, and I was bored. I didn't have anything to do. I was a musician my whole life, and I wanted to have an entertainment outlet, and I watched Twitch for a while, and I just kind of jumped on, and then I got really lucky. Really lucky. That's really all there is to it. Like, I just got really lucky, and now I'm where I'm at.
So then the obvious question is, when you say musician, what was your background?
I was a singer-songwriter, so I just sang and played guitar, and then ended up writing a full length with a couple people and did like a backing band on it. But that was pretty much what I did. And I toured, and then I realized during the last tour when our van broke down a week into a 8-week tour that I needed to do something and get out of the state I was in, because I lived in Iowa and now I live in Colorado. And I saved some money and finally got out of there, and now life doesn't suck.
I don't know if you guys have heard of his previous band. It was called Coldplay.
Where
big.
Where in Iowa?
Yeah, this guy's also from Iowa.
I too am an Iowan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Where from?
Des Moines.
Des Moines. I grew up in Cedar Falls, Waterloo. Janesville, Iowa was where I'm from.
Okay, I'm the one who's sorry. You missed out.
Yeah.
So, were you excited when Twitch launched creative then? Have you done any creative streams, or are you still just doing games?
You're not doing any creative?
Why
No.
not?
I sit there and play with my hands on creative sometimes. I make
I haven't done it.
like on my green screen. I don't know if I can do it right now, but
You're like this. It's a mockingbird if there was a shadow.
it's not bright enough yet. I see it.
Woodpecker, I mean. It's a woodpecker.
That's not a woodpecker. That's a
Yeah,
fat
it is.
pecker.
I got chubby hands!
It's like an armadillo butt.
Woodpecker,
An
see it?
armadillo butt.
Is this supposed to be some kind of moving?
I made a vagina.
Do we go in together?
Is it-
And then you open up when I'm in there, right? Isn't that what I did in high school? Like,
It's like birth. Look. There you go.
I'm just sitting here trying to rip this label off my bottle of water so I can
man.
drink
That's
it.
how babies are
Oh
made.
man.
Will, can we maybe get a mature audience warning up on this stream as soon as possible?
Should have done that last time.
Now, Scarfino, you obviously, I'm sorry, TigerWriter, you obviously weren't the only one who started doing this at some time. Scarfino, how did you get your start?
Me?
Yes. Unless there's another
I've
Scarfino
been-
in the room.
I'm into my 3rd year of being partnered. I got lucky too a long time ago when I definitely should not have gotten partnered. I did, and I've just got to make a lot of awesome friends through my incredible networking skills. But no, I started. I started because I was playing the games anyway, and I found out about Twitch through. I think it was a tournament of some sort of FPS tournament, which I used to compete in for a very long time. Different FPS games. Did the whole tour tournament route thing. Your dog's fucking adorable right now. I
I
can't
was
stand
gonna
it.
say, oh my freaking god, this dog though.
But I found out about Twitch through a tournament. Came on there. I was like, holy shit! I can have people talk to me while I'm playing these games instead of sitting by myself in my basement on my Xbox. And had a really shitty setup. I think I started off laying back in my couch with my webcam mic and no camera. I just didn't have the camera on. I just wanted to be just like that. Got out and shit. I was just like, this game's really cool. All right, let's go. That was sweet. So
I'm
that
an
was-
asshole to say that, but that would have been great.
That
yeah,
reminds
that's
me of,
basically what I did. But
have you guys
and
ever
I
seen-
basically streamed for like my first year for like just a few friends were in there, and then people started staying and showing up, and I applied for partnership and got it, and then actually last year was my first year going to conventions, so it's been a definitely an interesting ride, and it has helped me. I have kind of bad depression, and Twitch has definitely helped with that a lot. It helps a lot of people. You'd be surprised how many broadcasters have that problem. We're all a lot of introverts and suffer from a lot of weird things, but Twitch definitely helps us as well as the viewers.
And obviously going to conventions sounds like a great opportunity to, I mean, I'm sure.
Talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you've met people on stream that you go to convention and you're like, hey, you're Butt Guy 69 or whatever. I know they're happy
all
those
the time.
moments.
Yeah, I love your shit on the internet, dude. Stuff like that.
That's what they say too. They say shit.
Yeah.
They look straight and they're like, I love that shit that you do, and you're like,
Yeah, like, I mean, an example of it's easy because you get to kind of know people. I mean, some people have characters and stuff and whatnot on Twitch, like they play a persona. But I mean, a lot of us, like Andy is himself, I'm myself. We met each other for the first time at E3, right? Was it E3?
wasn't it East?
No, I didn't go to East. It was E3.
Oh.
I think it was E3. Yeah, it was E3. But we knew each other online since the beginning part of last year, I believe, and the end of the year before or something like that. When he was streaming, when he started off, and I got a E3 trip for me and a friend, and I was like, "Hey, you want to go?" And that's how we met in person for the first time, and it wasn't any different than talking online. So it's you kind of get to know people over the internet.
It's almost gonna be your 1-year anniversary of having met each other in person. You guys
I mean,
gonna do something to celebrate?
would you want to do something? Do you want to celebrate our friendship right now? Yeah, we do that. We do a beard kiss at conventions. We go like that, and then we actually like kiss through the beards. It's been seen.
Wait, can
Yes,
you pretend like you're doing it
Yeah,
right
you're
now?
actually side
Want
to
me
side
to
on the
go this way?
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that way.
That way?
Like, which way? I need to go.
Tiger,
That
you
way,
go
other
to-
way,
nope, the
other
other
way.
way, Tiger.
Other way, Tiger.
Other way, Tiger.
Hold on, I got it.
All right.
Okay, now move in.
Now go.
Move in.
And
Scarfino, stop.
there we go.
I don't know if it worked, but it might have.
Almost. It was very
Well,
close.
see
It
you
was
later.
very close.
It wasn't quite as good as who was
I
it?
didn't move farther enough,
Ali
and you went
and,
into me. You
Ali and
literally in
Sonia's
my
Ali and
punch.
Sonia's,
Get
Ali
out of
and
my
Sonia,
hole.
yeah, Ali and Sonia actually punched each other, and
Yeah.
it looked real, and
Yeah.
and they also did a successful high five. So
Yeah, yeah. They were on it. They were on their
they
game.
knew what to do.
They knew what they were doing.
What were you asking in the baby powder question? Why don't you go into that next?
Oh yeah, okay. So random tangent. All right, so I'm preaching the good word. All right, this is for all the men at home. All right, and which there are many. You guys ever exercise? Have you guys ever exercise and you get a little sweaty down there? Have you ever
I get
tried?
a lot of exercise.
We call it swamp ass where I'm from.
Yeah,
Swass.
you get a little
Swass.
swass or swamp crotch from I've heard it called I'm telling you guys, Gold Bond medicated baby powder. It gives you a
Whoa,
cooling
you're using the
sensation.
medicated baby
That's,
powder?
that's for the rash. That's not for the sweat.
Is there? Is there
That
medicine?
sweat that you have going.
I thought that was just like the cooling sensation. No, the Gold Bond like body.
That's the burning from
That's,
the rash.
no, it's like the stuff.
Chafe. You got the chafe going on.
I'm just like I can't remember what it's called, but Shaq always
I
fucking talks
prefer
about
like
it.
a wet one, a baby wipe. It's like a midday shower.
That's just gonna make you wetter. Like body powder, like actually like dries you out down there. Like
No. Hold on. You mean moisture?
Oh no!
That was a read, by the way.
I hate that word so much.
I've never understood people's obsession with that because I always think of a moist cupcake. And it's like a little spongy like cupcake.
I don't know why I'm
and it's delicious.
giggling. Maybe it's because I'm not an adult, but I think it's weird because like I remember when that word like was not really an issue to say, and now I feel like everybody's like, just don't say it. Just stop. Stop. Like, wait, I was saying it on stream last night, so I sang it. I was like, moist, and he didn't know what to do.
I turned off the stream is what I did.
That was remarkable. But seriously, but seriously, have you guys ever tried it? Like the get some body powder after your next
I've
workout.
used baby powder in my hair before if you don't want to wash your hair.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
a
good,
thing?
That's a good alternative to using dry shampoo.
Yeah, like
baby
if you like,
powder?
let's say
Yeah.
you got something you got to do and
Yeah.
you're gonna go out and you're like, oh shit, I have the grease hair. You can just throw some baby powder in that bitch. Boom.
What the fuck?
You've never
I
done
didn't know
this?
that. No,
No, I don't know
parents
anybody
do
that has.
but-
Yeah.
It's perfect. I mean, obviously you've got to kind of like get it in there and like comb it out a little bit because otherwise you're just gonna have like white head. But
Yeah.
Do you
know,
baby
all
powder
good.
your hair, Syra? Did
I
you do
have
that?
before. Yeah, yeah.
When's the last time you successfully baby powdered your head?
Like
Yeah. Does
like
she
a
smell
year
right
ago.
now?
maybe. Better than him at least.
He won't do it. He won't lean over and smell her hair. He
contrary-
won't do it.
I bet you won't do it.
He won't do it.
I
bet
certainly
you
won't
won't
do
do
it.
it. Don't
No,
do it.
I
You won't do it.
I'm
Don't
too
do
busy
it.
putting baby powder on my crotch.
So it
put anything
doesn't
on my
smell
head,
good.
so.
Chat, you won't do it, chat. Chat,
He won't do it. He won't smell her hair.
He won't do it, chat.
I'm not gonna do
Smell
it. No,
her hair.
not gonna do it.
Her hair.
Not gonna do
You
it.
guys are terrible
We,
influences.
So, speaking of smelling hair,
We have a fully
Reed,
fleshed
remember
out
the first time
HR
you met me?
department.
Yes.
Remember the first thing you said to me?
No.
Neither do I. I was just curious if you knew.
I think it was. Where the fuck does the Uber get us, or something like that, or how the fuck do we get to the hotel?
Yeah, didn't we like? Didn't you end up getting there? And then we got in the room, and who was it with us at E3 that like came in the room with us? It was like me. Oh, weren't we? Remember those guys we talked to?
Yeah, the Russians.
Armenian and Russian guys.
Yeah,
Those,
we were
those
outside
two are
at
mutually
a hotel
exclusive.
we stayed at E3
3 in the morning.
morning, I think.
Yeah.
Reed was drunk. I think we had our friend My Panda Assassin's name with us, and we were just sitting out there, and we were just walking, and they just struck up a conversation. We ended up talking to these guys for like, I think till almost 5 in the morning.
It was a long time. Yeah.
The sun was coming up, and we just had conversation with them. I don't really remember what we talked about though.
We tried to explain what we did. Yeah, we should explain them about Twitch.
Super confused. They had no clue what we were talking about. We were trying to talk to them about Twitch, and they were just like, "Show us."
Like, yeah.
You show them a Russian streamer?
Yeah, and he had a donation goal at the bottom, and it was in Russian. And I said, "What the fuck does that mean?" Yeah, and he said, "I want donuts." It said, "This is my donation." He's like, "Tips for donut" is what it said. We asked the
Tips
Russian
for
guy.
donut.
Yeah.
Tips for donuts.
I've learned some Russian from playing Dota. I've learned
Really?
suka, which apparently means bitch in
Bitch.
Russian. And
Oh.
then bliat.
Oh,
I don't know what that means, but I also
What?
know bliat.
okay.
I think that's another swear word. I
Do you have
apologize
any
to all our
people that
Russian
speak
viewers.
Russian in chat? Can you like translate in for us right
Or
now?
correct my
Like-
pronunciation, please. Yeah.
When I worked at a casino, we had a lot of Vietnamese gentlemen there, and I got to learn a decent amount of Vietnamese, mainly getting cursed at because I was a dealer at the casino. But then eventually somebody taught me, and it was always fun when like you would know what they were saying, and you'd be like, "Come again." Like they taught me how to like I can't even remember now, but they taught me how to say something back. Like they probably were telling me to tell them to eat shit or something, but they told me like they're like just say this whenever they say these things. And I was like, I really hope they're not telling me to like please go bite a banana or something. I assume it's something ridiculous that they told me to say, but I still said it because they always yelled at me.
I like that you cleared that up. You were like, yeah, I was a dealer at the casino.
I know. I was like, where is this going? I am a little bit worried right now.
Just deal at the casino.
Which casino? Where?
It was in Waterloo. It was called the Isle Casino Hotel.
Oh, okay. I'm
you were that
familiar with it.
Vietnamese guy cussing him out, weren't you?
No comment. And Syra actually recently got back from Vegas, so she has a little bit of an experience with casinos.
I do. I'm not that good at gambling, though. I actually suck at gambling.
There's no such thing as being
I actually
good
suck at pretty
gambling.
much everything to do with Vegas. I broke my phone on a roller coaster on Tuesday, so.
Which
You broke? Wait. Did you say
That
you broke
happened.
your phone on a roller coaster?
I broke my phone on a roller coaster.
She was
I
just
broke my
mad that she
phone
didn't get her
at-
money's worth, so she threw it against the roller coaster. She broke
You
it
broke your
on
phone.
the roller coaster.
Mine actually was broken because a car ran over it.
How did
That's
that
almost
happen?
as bad.
Well, I was on a scooter, and I don't really wear headphones when I'm on my scooter, but I always put one earbud in my left ear if I'm using
Right.
GPS.
Yeah.
And that way, like if I need to turn, I had no clue where I was going last night, and the GPS was talking to me. It was like, turn left here, and I was like, it was like turn, and it just stopped, and I just kind of sat there, and I was like, and I felt my pocket, and I was like,
Oh no.
so I kind of slowed down and turned around and went and found it in the middle of the road, and it was on its screen, and I looked down at it, and the case looked fantastic, and I was like, oh! And I thought we were safe. I thought we were, and then I picked it up, and it just looked like somebody shot it with a mini gun, like a little pellet gun, and it was just destroyed. But you can still turn it on, and then I went and got a new phone. And by the way, speaking of that, I'm just telling anybody, this is just, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, but if you have a certain company that starts with a V's plans, and you have their insurance, you should just get rid of it because it's worthless. Anyways,
It's better than having worthless. I would rather take worthless insurance but usable service than worthless service and worthless insurance under AT&T.
Yeah.
That's kind of
bad
at least like
experience.
Verizon has good service. I mean, V-Stars has good service.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got shitty internet and shitty phone
By the
companies, are you
way-
saying?
no, see, that all works, but the thing that doesn't work.
Comcast?
Okay, so this is what happened. I went there to exchange my phone, and I've been with them for like 7-something years. I've never signed any other documents. I've always had the same one. And when I went in and told my the guy looks at me and he goes, "Sir, you're gonna have to call this number." And I was like,
Oh God.
I just kind of looked around for a minute. I was like, "Listen, I'm a nice guy, but I'm not calling that number. Just give me a phone." Even a flip phone, anything until I can get this. And he goes, "No, sir, you got to call that number because, see, they work for us now and we work for them, and they have to, you have to call them, and then they one day it over to you." And then I was like, "So wait, can you just give me a phone for the one day?" "No, sir, but we can sell you a $50 flip phone."
I want a burner phone.
And I just sat there and I looked at him and I was just like, "I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm not gonna buy a $50 phone, especially not a $50 flip phone, especially when I'm pretty sure you're supposed to just be giving me." When he goes, he goes, "What do you do?" And I was like, I work at home." And he goes, "Oh, are you an EMS?" And I should have said yes, because he goes, "Oh, because if you were EMS or paramedic or police, we would be able to give you one with no problem." And I was like,
What the fuck?
I just kind of sat there looking at the dude, and I was like, "I want to punch you in the throat." Because
You're gonna need to call one of those EMSs soon.
I really just hate you right now. And I was a nice guy. I actually explained this to my stream last night that I never told him I was mad at him, because I was never mad at him, because it wasn't his fault. He's just working there. But I actually had that conversation last night in my stream, and I was just like, you got to remember, you can't always just start screaming at the person at the customer service thing, because it's not their fault. And on
Yeah.
top of that, they probably hate their job in the first place, so they ain't gonna give a shit about what you're
You don't want to
saying.
make it even worse for them.
Yeah, I had a similar customer service experience with AT&T, and it was the same kind of frustrated, this isn't your fault, but I need to be mad at somebody, anybody.
Anything.
So I called them because I'm switching over to to Verizon. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to switch my service. There was an early termination fee, so I'm like, okay, I'll pay the early termination fee. Obviously.
$700.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was not cheap. That was the first part. But I called them and I'm like, okay, so I need to pay this bill, and they're like, well, there's nothing to pay yet because you haven't canceled your contract. And I'm like, okay, well, so I have to wait till after I cancel to pay my thing? Yes. And I'm like, okay, well then, I mean, I'm not going to have a phone at that point. And they're like, well, that's the other part. And I'm like, what's that? They're like, you have to wait 7 days, 7 business days for a mail statement to come so that you can pay. And I said, so you're telling me that in order to leave AT&T, you have to give up your phone for 7 business days plus whatever weekends that covers? Yes,
That's
sir.
the weirdest fucking rule I've ever heard.
It's designed to like keep you like stuck in a contract. And so I did exactly that. I was like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at your company, but I just need to be mad at somebody. So you're the guy.
It's like, I'm sorry you picked up the phone, but I really want to curse every single curse word at you right now. Even though
And then they disconnected my service.
You can usually just go to the company you want to go to, and then they'll just steal the phone number for you and port it over, and then you go over and then handle it at the other place. I used to work at Sprint, and we did people do that all the time.
Yeah.
See, but I did that, and AT&T still nailed me with the charge and put me through this terrible.
Oh yeah, they're still gonna bend you over.
Yeah.
But you don't have to wait 7 days.
No, but I did. But I did have to wait 7 days because they wouldn't give up. They don't give up the number now until you pay the early termination fee.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, do you have any tips for starting streamers?
Tips.
Tips.
it's it for a lot of people, but it's not a stream. It's usually for a read, though, so I'm sorry. That's not what I'm talking about.
Damn. God.
You're a child. Grow up. Grow up, Reed. What do you do?
Surrender.
Stream. You're going first now. You started this.
Tips for streamers. I mean, everyone always says be yourself and don't, whatever. But sometimes a persona works. Let's look at Casey Tron. She's fucking genius. I love Casey Tron. The main thing I usually tell people is stream for one person as you would stream for 10,000 people. Like, don't change how you are just based on the numbers, and try not to look at numbers, even though as hard as that is. Because usually what happens is when you're starting to stream, you're worried about your view count and your numbers. And then once you become a partner, you're worried about your sub count and your numbers, not so much about your view count. And it just changes. But as long as you are still like, I dread ever having several thousand people on my channel or something like that, because one of the things I pride myself on is I'm able to hold a conversation and communicate with the people in my community and my channel as if we're just hanging out at a bar or something like that, or just talking. So start off streaming. It's hard to be excited when there's one dude in your channel or there's nobody talking or something like that, but try to be excited about what you're playing and play shit that you actually enjoy, not shit you think you should play because people show up. So don't stream Dota.
I don't stream Dota because I don't want people to know what an asshole I am. That's the primary reason. TigerWriter, how about you? How do those of us who want to get started streaming get through? My big question, actually, as somebody who tried streaming a while ago, is how do you get through the doldrums? You say don't look at the viewer count, but when you stream for several weeks in a row and you only see like 1 or 2 people and they're like a bot, or you watching your own channel in the browser window, how do you get through those times?
You better get fucking excited when that bot shows up.
Honestly, I'm even going to take it a step back farther than what Reed said. And even before you do any, and this is just my opinion, even before you do any of that stuff that Reed said, and this is in conjunction with what you asked, I personally 100%, and I'm a very straightforward person. I had a panel at TwitchCon last year with a few of my really good friends. And what we discussed is we kind of discussed how we got lucky enough to be on Twitch and be successful. And with that being said, Twitch is not a platform, especially now, that you can just come on and be successful. I mean, it was never like that. And the biggest thing I tell people, and I've started getting a little more serious with this and a little more sincere, even though it's not really the funnest thing and not the lightest thing when it comes to like, if you were like, it's like if I was a doctor, I'd probably be told I have like bad bedside manner. But what it comes down to is just like anything else. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a broadcast, you're a musician, you want to be an actor, you want to be a plumber. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to have trials and tribulations when you're trying to do something. So realistically speaking, in my opinion, the best thing you can do with Twitch, especially now if you want to stream, is never even think about the aspect of, I'm going to have at least 10 to 15 viewers in here someday, or I'm going to be making this amount of money. Especially never think about money. Don't even consider money an option ever with Twitch while you're starting. And on top of that, it's a situation where, in my personal opinion, if you're going to start streaming on Twitch, you never start streaming unless you have like a business plan. Like maybe if you have a business plan because you've been watching long enough and maybe you have a background and in some kind of this or YouTube, then maybe you can hit it really hard. But if you're just like blank out, flat line, never done this before, then you're just going to have to either do one of two things. You're going to have to bite the bullet and suck it up because nobody's going to be able to help you do anything else outside of yourself, and you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to really work to do it. But really what I suggest is just doing it as a hobby and having fun, because when I started streaming, that's all it was. I started streaming, I made a schedule for fun because I just knew that that would be when I'd be casting, so I left that there for people to see. But realistically speaking, it's never that I didn't care about them. I always cared about them because anybody new would come in, I'd be like, what's going on? Like, how are you? But realistically speaking, I am very lucky to be where I'm at. It's just like anything in the world. I've put a lot of hard work into it, but I also got lucky. And this isn't for everybody. Streaming and trying to be like an enormous broadcaster or enormous YouTuber, like it's just like anything else. Like you can have that dream and you can try to follow it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you always have to be realistic. I'm a very realistic person, and you have to realize that not everything is always going to work. So if you're going to start streaming on Twitch, just realize, be realistic. Don't think about all of this cool future ideas you have when you're making all this money. Think about all these cool things you can do to have fun by yourself when nobody's in that channel talking to you, so you can keep yourself entertained and so that you can go ahead and keep doing what you're doing without having to stress yourself out emotionally. Because like Reed said earlier, I think it was either before or after the cast, I think it was after we started it, about like your emotions and depression. Mm-hmm. Like I have never had to deal with that stuff and like had the hardest job in my life until I started streaming. So I'm not trying to scare anybody, by the way. I'm just being real, because a lot of people and a lot of casters won't be real. Mm-hmm. Kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Games that don't suck.
Yeah, being an adult is rough.
No, games you want to play.
Oh, don't
You're way
suck.
better at talking than me. I hate you. I'm done.
So a new segment that we've actually introduced to Twitch Talk is the best or funniest moment on Twitch. And this week, we couldn't really think of something that would fit that category, but there was another big Twitch story that sort of came to the forefront, I would say. Ian, do you want to break it down?
Yeah, so obviously there's been a lot of conversation about a streamer who made some controversial comments, some unfounded allegations about a popular League of Legends analyst, and that streamer is named Groscore. Now, for those of you familiar with the story, Groscore got banned from Twitch for his comments and gathered quite a bit of community ire for the things that he said, in part because he was saying public things on a public stream, even if it was just a stream of consciousness, he was saying it in a very public way. Mm-hmm. So the question obviously for you guys is, when you're streaming, how often do you have to think about the fact that, like, yes, you could talk about your love of X, Y, or Z, no matter how controversial it could be, or you could talk about how much you hate person X or Y, but you're in a public place and you really can't take those things back.
See, this is where a lot of people, once again, are just not really straightforward. See, I didn't actually hear exactly what you're talking about when it came to the band. I didn't hear exactly what you're talking about in there. But can you repeat like the partial question that you were asking with that? Because I want to make sure I heard it clearly and understood it. I'm sorry.
The basic gist of it is how often do you guys as streamers have to think about the fact that what you're saying is being broadcast to a public audience?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being an influencer.
What it comes down to is people like our friend in the chat, Mammary Bland, that's like saying that I'm worthless because I have tattoos and because I have a beard and I made terrible choices. And like, he's one of the people that come into channels and she thrives off, obviously, getting people to say things in a public live setting to upset someone. Realistically speaking, I can sit here and ignore that dude all day, and I really could give a shit less what that person's saying, because it doesn't realistically matter. And that's how all casters should think about those kind of things. I'm pointing this out because one of the biggest things that a lot of casters make the mistake on is taking those things. And there's one thing to like talk a little trash back, or like, just kind of say something to them in the sense of like, hey, sorry that you're just kind of an ass or whatever it might be. You can take that, you can look at it, and you can say something like I just did. Or you can take it way out of hand, you can blow it out of proportion, and you can end up making yourself kind of look like an asshole. As far as what happened, again, I didn't hear what streamer got banned or why that happened. I personally don't care. But whatever it is that happened to that person, what sucks about it more than anything is, as being a caster, you have to deal on a daily basis with people on the internet. And we all know how people on the internet can be. Whether they're 30, whether they're 15, whether they're 5, whether they're 40, it doesn't matter. you're going to have to deal with it. And realistically, what it comes down to is it comes down to two things: having patience and being professional, in my opinion. And that's just kind of, I don't know. That's what I'd say about it.
I agree. And I mean, I kind of steer clear of things like I'm not very well versed in politics at all. It's basically certain topics that get people riled up and shit like that. You know, politics, sexuality. You know, if you know, how do you feel about gay dudes? Stuff like that. You know, like I just don't. I'm completely neutral across the board. I have no opinion. And if people start talking about that stuff, I say, hey guys, take that to whispers. You know, I try to stay clear of stuff that gets
best
people
thing to do is
riled
just
up.
distract it and move on to a different conversation. That's what I usually do.
Like, I love hot dogs without the buns.
Yeah,
Like some guy in the chat asked me how I felt about it.
I can't
love
believe you. I can't believe you just said that on our channel. Thanks a
You
lot.
know what kinds
Thanks.
of foods are dick shaped is the best kind, right?
It's true. Like, just ignore. Like, a lot of people just don't realize how powerful just ignoring things are, and how powerful just like disregarding and changing the topic are. Like, changing the topic is one of the easiest things to do. Like, you are the person that runs your channel. You are the person looking at the camera. You are the person. You are the production. I am the production, the crew, the entertainer. I am everything on my stream. So when it comes to having to deal with that kind of stuff, I mean, it's just realistically speaking, if you're trying to take yourself seriously and trying to make sure that you realize that you're an entertainment aspect, just like anybody in the world that's doing entertainment, you're gonna have people that hate you, you're gonna have people that love you, and you're gonna have people that probably want to kill you, and you're gonna have people that want to hug you. You're gonna have all that, and there's just realistically nothing you can do about it other than just either ignore it or change the subject a lot of the time, especially when it comes to chat. But that's again,
and it
just
seems
my
like.
opinion.
And it seems like so much of it is about picking your battles, because if you're spending half your stream arguing with a guy in chat or saying angry things or getting upset at people on Twitter, that's got to be energy taken away from you enjoying your game and making an entertaining stream.
Absolutely. The only reason you should ever grab onto it is if you can either, in my opinion, the only time I ever grab onto that stuff is if I can make it an entertainment, like if I can take it into the entertainment aspect, like somebody comes in and, you know, they're being a troll, but, you know, maybe they're not being serious. Maybe they're just trying to be funny or something like that. And then you just end up talking trash out of them and being like, woo! And, you know, I mean, you can just do anything like that and just, I don't know, you can turn it into something funny, but there's also like the ones that you don't want to battle. Like if somebody in the chat says something about, oh, I know where you live, or something, you know, something dumb, like something that actually gets to the point where it's serious. At that point in time, I just ignore it, because until something actually happens, I don't need to lose the focus on what I'm supposed to be doing, which is entertaining people.
So coming off of that then, what is your angriest moment on stream?
Every fucking night. my community likes to give me shit, and I'm decent at I can pick up a game and be about average at it, but they like to, like, if I fuck up something, like, oh, this is really dumb, you play so bad, Reed, blah 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 blah. That's every night for me, and I'm used to it by now. And I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it's I've had some. I haven't like legitimately gotten angry before, like at people or chat or something like that. I mean, I do the whole rage gamer thing sometimes, and I think we all do. I mean, I've watched Andy play fucking Mario Maker several times, and he gets really pissed. But, or Dark Souls. You're really bad at Dark Souls, by the way.
The call outs.
One me in Dark Souls. You will
go.
never
1v1, bro.
in Dark Souls again. I will crush you. I bet I can beat you 5 times in a row, and you don't get to beat me once.
Can we talk about when we played Street Fighter? What happened there?
Yeah, Street Fighter. Shit out of me. We're talking about Dark Souls right now. All right, we're talking about Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is basically Street Fighter.
So I mean Street Fighter, but in Dark Souls, it's like the one thing. You know how like everybody's got like a game. Like you said, you play Dota. You're probably decently good at it because you probably play it a lot, right? See, if you have a game you know you're decently like good at, I'm gonna like take a little pride when someone talks shit at that point in time. I'm gonna be like, all right, I'll beat you 5 times in a row. I'm very sincere when I say this, and I mean it. And if I lose, I cry, but that's fine.
I actually heard a tip to deal with people who want to tell you you're bad at video games or induce rage during a stream, and this comes straight from some people who have been dealing with trolls while they play video games for a while, and that's the Game Grumps. They said that if you ever read like a mean comment and you don't want to let it like affect you at all, read it in the voice of Dale Gribble. So if someone's like you're terrible at video games, like as soon as you say it in that voice, you're like, yeah. If somebody's like, You're a piece of shit, and I hope you die. You're a piece of shit, and I hope you die. Yeah, like
God, you suck so much.
why does anybody watch this stream? Yeah,
Sounds like my uncle. That's weird.
Does he sell propane and propane related? Wait, that's
propane and propane accessories. God damn it, buddy.
Thank you guys for having me on your guys' show, by the way. I didn't get a chance to say that. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming on. We were so sad last time when your internet went down just before
That
the
sucked.
show.
That sucked a lot.
That's it.
He cried to me via text for a little bit.
We could literally rage at phone companies and internet companies all day, I think.
Or the people fixing this building who actually delayed a broadcast last week because they had buzzsaws against the mason work all day. All day. That's fun.
Did you get him back?
We eventually went to the front office and we're like, hey, by the way, we're paying a ton of money to rent this apartment or rent this office. Maybe quiet it down a little bit.
Did you bare ass their car window or what?
I would have done it.
I said I had a polite conversation. What happened after that is my business.
My ass cheeks.
Realistically, I said, look at me in the eyes, and you tell me right now I'm not going to be able to do this. Oh, I'm not? I'm going to buzzsaw your ass, all right?
Now, if anyone in chat has any questions for either TigerWriter or Scarfino, just put it in the chat there and we'll
I see some of the people in here.
out.
That's a mistake.
But in the meantime, are you guys excited for TwitchCon?
Yes. Next question.
Yes.
Well, that was easy.
I was actually just just sitting down. Before I did this, I was for an hour and a half. I was sitting down writing out stuff for. I'm submitting a panel for TwitchCon, and by that I might be joining up with a couple other people that were kind of thinking about doing the same thing. So we've been talking via Twitter just today, actually. So I've been kind of writing out some of my ideas so I can email them to them, and then I'm hoping to do a couple other panels too. We were going to talk to Shannon was her name. She's the one that did the panel with myself last year, Alaskan Savage, Retro Gaijin, and Skin Teened. We all did one last year, and we talked about how it'd be really cool to do another one this coming year to kind of say okay, well, this is what happened since then. And the panels at TwitchCon, actually, and I'm just going to put that out there regardless of me being on a panel, if you're going to TwitchCon, the best thing to do is, honestly, outside of meeting casters, if you want to learn about Twitch, you want to learn about cool things, those panels are incredible, and they're huge sources of knowledge, regardless of you going to one I would do or anybody in these channels would do. They're really good to check out, especially if you find one you might be interested in.
Yeah, I remember we spoke to DJ Wheat about how when you go to TwitchCon, there's really something for everyone. There's literally something for everyone, from the fans, how they can interact with things, how they can start their own stream, to established streamers who don't know sort of the ins and outs of the technical stuff that's going on. There's really just something for everybody. By the way, this is not a paid promotion for TwitchCon. We're just really excited to go.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so fun. I can't put into words how much fun I had at the first one last year. I can only remember one bad thing happening, and that was the first day. I remember I was living here in Colorado, and it was kind of cold out, and I went to San Francisco, and it was really nice out. And I remember walking to the first day of TwitchCon, and just I was completely drenched in my own sweat, and I was just I am not that fat and out of shape.
Sweat a lot, though.
Man.
We both sweat a lot.
Oh God, it was. But every day after that was fine. I could walk there. I didn't even sweat. But that first day, my body was just acclimating or something, and did not like it.
Well, the sad thing is,
3 2.
3 was worse because it was hot that day.
well, the worst part about sweat is that sweat, if the more you sweat, that's actually healthier because it's
Can we
your
stop
body.
you from talking about sweat again?
Seriously
You and the
talked
baby
about
powder.
sweat
Let's-
and
let's-
baby
The
powder
medicated baby
and
powder.
Let's talk for a second about
And-
it.
I'm still
No,
interested in
no.
this conversation, mind you. Don't you worry about
Everybody-
it. Say to you.
Everybody come in close.
All right, we have a question here from Faden June. What do you guys do
Wait,
to
I
get...
wanted to talk about the TwitchCon.
Oh,
go for it. Sorry.
Sorry.
God damn it, Syra.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
It's all Ian's
So-
fault. Ian goes on freaking
Sure.
rants about sweating, and then
It's
I forget where we're up to.
It's the medicated baby powder. I don't know. It's weird.
Talking about the sweat, I got a little worked up. All right, let me.
To piggyback off Tiger talking about the panels, sometimes you'll go to conventions and you'll go to panels from devs and stuff like that they'll talk about their game, but TwitchCon's all about Twitch, and the people that are on those are they're real broadcasters that are up there every day doing what they do, and everything they're telling you is what they've learned over the past 2, 3, 4 years, however long they've been streaming for. It's real advice, not you should do this because that's what the FAQ says, and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, I did this. They'll basically say, I did this. Here's what I did, and here's how it worked for me. That doesn't always mean it's going to work for you, but I would say probably 78.2% of the time it might work for you.
And
Don't question my percentage.
and 96% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Yeah,
Yeah, just right there.
You know,
Yeah, they are really good. I went to several panels last year. I went to Tigers, and they did have a lot of good shit to say. And there's some pretty good people talking good and stuff on the internet there. I'm not one of them, but
were there any panels on sweat?
there could be. You can submit one. If you go to twitchcon.com, you can submit your own panel.
And on sweat.
They're handing out
How to
deodorant
not
at
sweat.
PAX, I hear.
Yeah, I heard about that at PAX East.
Cover your body in baby
Like,
powder.
literally, yeah, just a panel on how to not sweat at conventions. Like,
And Twitch, I believe, is at PAX East right now giving out deodorant to.
Scarfino literally just
Oh,
said
wait,
that.
I just said that
Did
like
you
10
just say
seconds ago,
that?
you mean?
He
was
literally
that, was
just
that what you're
said
talking
that.
about?
Are you
Ian,
drunk
get
again?
out.
Yeah. Get under that table.
Get out.
Stay under that table.
Alrighty. So the question that I was going to ask you guys is, how do you get in the zone with your schedule when your personal life is not going smoothly?
I want to take that one first. I'll take that one. You can answer it after me because I know what you're going to say. And all right. So my stream has always been kind of like my happy place to get away from all the bullshit in real life. I started doing it as like a hobby thing, like Tiger said, as he makes out with his dog. And you know, you had a shitty day at work, you come home and you've got fucked up people in your chat and they're just goofy and shit just like you are, and they kind of lift you up and bring you out of that. So as much as viewers need us, we need them just as much too, because they help bring us out of that. I mean, yeah, it sucks to say put on your happy face when you start off, but most of the time your chat and your community can bring you out of it, even if you're playing a game that pisses you the fuck off. But that's how I've treated it. I don't do anything special. I mean, I have some. I got a little bottle of tequila here. Sometimes I sip on, but other than that, I'll segue into Tiger. But yeah, that's what I do. Usually my chat will bring me out of it. My community, sorry.
Yeah, that's so like, man, what a question to ask right now. Like, what a question to ask after like the last like 5 months of my life.
Yeah.
One of the other things I was actually the people I'm in cahoots with and talking to, the panel we're talking about potentially trying to put together would be a panel on how to be a caster and keep yourself sane, basically, and how to deal with your emotions. So this is actually literally like what you just asked is literally what I was just doing an hour ago.
Wow.
I was sitting down writing about all of the things basically you just asked. So, I mean, I could just grab the paper, but I'm not going to. Man, like emotions are weird. The way I look at it, and because I run myself as not just a business now, but I also run myself as like a serious, I look at myself, I know when you're on Twitch, people look at you as a caster. They look at you as a broadcaster, a caster, a streamer. I don't say that when I'm usually streaming. I usually say I am an entertainer, because that's first and foremost what I want to be and what I want to do now. Like, I mean, everybody can argue and say, well, yeah, that's what Twitch is, an entertainment platform, but I'm a broadcaster. So it's weird to explain. I don't know. A lot of people, there's a difference between that, and I think a lot of people don't understand it. And with that being said, when I come on and this camera's on and I'm in front of the stream and I'm doing my stream, it doesn't matter what's happening in my life. It doesn't matter if I just got my foot ran over. It doesn't matter if I have the worst depression going on in my life right now. If I am committed to streaming and I have a show that night and I know I can do it in the slightest, I am going to get on here and I'm going to entertain. With that being said, that battle is probably like the hardest battle I've ever had to deal with in my life. And I'm 30, and I'm not old by any means, but I'm old enough to have been through enough shit to understand, I guess, a little more since I am older. And emotion-wise, like, out of everything I said earlier, when it comes to being a caster, a broadcaster, an entertainer, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life when it comes to the amount of effort, time, energy, work I put into it. And because of that, a lot of people will say, you can't help it sometimes. Sometimes when you're on the cast, you just break down. It's happened to people. I've watched it happen to casters on cast before. It happens. I've been lucky enough to be able to keep myself composed enough when I've had bad times or bad days. literally the only advice that I can really give anybody with that is just to always remember that no matter like what goes on, if you love what you're doing, because I can tell you right now, like I hated streaming for about a month and a half. Like I was like ready to never stream again, ever. Like I was ready to be done with it. I was ready to go like crawl under the bridge across the street from my house, like just quit everything. And it had to do with depression. It had to do with waking up. And in the realisticness in my head, I was like, I'm completely fine. I'm just bummed out because bad things happen. It happens. But with what I had happen in the last 5 to 6 months of my life and the luck that I've had and and what I've got out of streaming over the course of a little more than a year to a year and a half of my life with casting, I owe so much, whether they feel like it or not, to the community that I've grown, and that it doesn't matter how bad of a day I've had. I come on here because I'm here to help take care of the people that had a bad day. I'm in my channel streaming because I want the people that had a shitty day to be able to come into my channel and be like, man, I hate everything. And I'm like, oh, yeah, why do you hate everything? And they're like, oh, somebody will actually listen, or somebody in the channel will listen, or somebody will talk to someone in the channel. And as a caster, like emotions are definitely like the hard. I'm sorry, I completely went around a big aspect of all that. But as a caster, emotions are just literally the hardest thing to deal with, because if you've got a girlfriend or a husband or a wife or whatever it might be, and you're mixing that in with how much time and effort you have to put into streaming if you want to take it serious, it's just almost impossible. I mean, I was in a relationship when I started streaming. I am no longer in a relationship.
It is very hard. Trust me. Yeah, it's hard.
You're married.
And it's very mentally exhausting. Yeah, I'm married and I've got a kid coming in July.
You do have a kid coming.
Baby,
Soon.
I know. My penis works.
I get to be the uncle.
Yeah, but there's it's a lot of people come on to streams and they'll be like, this guy's got the easiest fucking job in the world. He plays games and he's obviously a piece of shit. Look, he's got tattoos, the titty on his arm, and a beard. I mean, he obviously doesn't care about anything. He's just stupid and plays games. And why are these people giving him money? And blah blah blah. It's very mentally fucking exhausting doing this, because I mean, you have to. It's nuts. Like, I mean, you like when the cast goes off, I go upstairs and I'm just like, I usually bounce around on Twitch for a while, but I'll just go on the couch and be like, I'm fucking dead. Like,
and what's weird about that is, like, when I first started streaming, I was doing like 11 to 15 hours a day, because I worked a job where I was a dispatcher at a taxi company and I was able to work and stream at the same time, because I would just be like, hold on, guys.
Oh, there was a taxi company. Where are you at? Where you going?
yeah.
And like, I just like, now it's different now though, because when I first started streaming, I would stream for that whole time and I didn't have like, I wasn't using all of the energy. Like, if you were to come watch my cast now, you see that for the entire 5 to 6 hours I stream, I'm pretty high energy. Like, I'm always consistently doing that. It wasn't like that back in the day. It had some energy, but it was for like 2 or 3 hours here and there whenever something cool would happen. And now it doesn't matter if something cool happens, because I realize that people come there to be entertained. And I know I can't be entertaining for 6 hours straight completely, but I can give it my best. And when you're trying to give however many people, whether it's 2 or like 1,000 people, your attention and give them your entertainment, like Reed said, like when I get done now, like I used to live in an apartment. So here was my desk. Here was my bed. I rolled off my chair into my bed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about how unhealthy that is and how unhealthy it was. Now that I live in a house and I have my own studio and my bed is separate, I get done streaming, I turn off everything in this studio. I finish my paperwork that I do at night. I finish what I'm doing. I turn everything off in here and I go to my living room and I sit on my laptop and do something if I'm gonna do it, because I realized like that was another thing that was messing with those emotions that we're talking about, was like I had no separation of work, sleep, and personal life. And now I do. And it's changed a lot. It's like really, really changed my emotions. Sorry, I'm gabbing again.
No, this is really what we brought you on to hear.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I love how your mouth works.
I wish you were talking about when I talk.
Whatever you guys do in your own time, we're gonna leave that for your own
That's
time.
why we're so excited for TwitchCon. I mean, come on.
And just remember, Scarfino, the next time somebody comes in and says that you have the easiest job in the world, just read it as, this guy has the easiest job in the world. All he does is play video
He doesn't
games.
sit on his ass and play video games. That fat piece of
I
shit.
could do this too.
All right.
I just usually like, my favorite thing to do when somebody starts trolling me is like, and this is actually kind of like some, I guess, like kind of like some knowledge on streaming. One thing I recommend if you have trolls a lot, or if you get trolls, is just start having fun with them. Like, I mean, obviously there's like a level of trolling that obviously people can go over, but if somebody comes in and says, man, you really suck at this game, you want to know what I usually say to them? I'm just like, I know, would you shut up and have a good conversation with someone in the chat or talk to me? And usually they're like, laugh out loud, how are you? And then they become a community member. I mean, like,
I'm not here to be good at games.
yeah, we're not here to be good at games. That's why you watch esports. You can go watch all the esports. I'm here to entertain and make people giggle. Give them a good chuckle once in a while. And typically make them really scared of me. Somebody told me they were scared of me the other day.
How? Why?
I don't know how to take that. How do you take that?
You're not very threatening in person.
I am not.
I'm the softest motherfucker you'll ever meet. Like,
Speaking of soft, pillow.
Can I play a song? No, never mind.
there's a goddamn body pillow that was started as a joke in my stream. If you go to Zazzle and look up me, you'll find a full-size body pillow.
I'm gonna
If
make
someone
a
can find that link, we'll
It's
post
like
it in the
$80
chat.
though. I don't know. People have already bought them. Like the Steel Series staff, they said they're getting a few for the office.
Oh man.
They said their boss approved it, and I was like, I need pictures. Like,
The real question is, Hill, I gotta find something real quick. You guys just keep going. I gotta find something. This is gonna be good. Where's it at? I gotta find.
I already gave them a YouTube link to show on the stream to show our friendship.
The sushi?
Yeah.
That's not what I was after, but that's a good one too. I was after a tweet that I got yesterday that Death Sculpt did. If you guys know who Death Sculpt is.
There's the
there it
Zazzle.
is.
Thanks, Finn.
I have an emote called the Tiger Renee.
Oh, I saw that.
I have the shirts. I'm going to be making a shirt, I'm pretty sure, with the Tiger Renee on it. But Death Sculptor, I'm trying to figure out if I can figure out a link.
If you guys know Renee, it's Renee and Tiger's face smashed into one, and it's the most terrifying thing you've ever fucking seen.
We did a face swap. Somebody's gonna put it in the channel. Can I put
there
it
it
in
is.
that channel? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Think.
There it is.
I'm gonna make a shirt out of that, and it's gonna be good.
By the way, the best part about you guys putting links in the chat is watching Syra
man.
like chase them with her mouse because they go off the chat. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
God, that's terrifying. It's supposed to be me and Renee did a face swap, and the emote is what the actual face swap looked like. It was disgusting and very awful.
Wow. You
That's,
made it into an emote and everything. That's dedication right there.
That's scary
Well,
stuff.
actually, I was talking to my team member Morag and my good friend, and he was making an emote. I do this thing every month where I give an emote away in my channel. So if somebody wins, they can send me a picture of them, and I'll put them in there. They'll be that emote for the month, and they could use it on any channel. And when I was giving it to him, I showed him the picture of me and Renee's face swap, and he goes, "I have something for you." And I was like, "What's that?" And I automatically put it up. Like, there was no question. I was like, deleting this emote, putting this one up right now. There was no questions asked at all.
Obviously. Well, guys,
We're gonna lady in the
wonderful
tramp
time,
eat this.
but sadly, our time has come to an end.
Too much, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No.
Yes,
Actually,
actually,
wait a
we
minute.
do wanna-
we
we
have
do
a
wanna see that
last
video.
minute. Yeah, our technical director has a video to show us. Please feel free.
What is this? We're gonna lady in the tramp eat. This is how we're going out.
I have no idea if this is guys.
It's sushi.
Tiger, do you have any way of knowing?
How it looks like? It's going to be good.
It's gonna be
Oh,
good.
that's me.
Do it, baby.
I don't know. I think we're just gonna. I think we're just gonna. I think we're just gonna be.
I think they can hear you. Yeah.
So there you go.
so hot.
All right. This is E3. We were at E3 and we were discussing about how we needed to. Lady in the Tramp this egg sushi, and needless to say, there are pictures where it 100% looks like we're making out. But you're going to see for yourself in a second how beautiful it is.
Feel free to screen cap. Tweet us your screen caps.
I'm so proud of you guys for going like all the way with it.
Yeah,
this
you
wasn't
guys
like,
did not
this
back
wasn't like
down.
nibble.
No
It was
shame.
like
Over the
fuck it.
game of chicken.
Yeah, you had shame. You backed out right now.
No, I got a hair in my lip. Like one of your hairs was in my lip.
You have a beard and you're complaining about a hair in your lip. I get hairs in my lip when I talk. I have hairs in my lip now from my beard, and you're complaining about a hair going in your lip when we're trying to eat an egg together?
Okay, that's the reason I pulled away was because it was falling.
No. The reason you pulled away is because you weren't committed.
I'm committed. I'll do it again. I'll
worked in sushi.
I'll fucking
lip
do it.
line.
Yeah, I'll eat a whole plate of sushi
From my
with you.
vlogs.
You want to fucking come, bro?
Try eating the beard through a beard kiss, like eating it.
Eating a beard through a beard kiss. Oh, man. All right, we have one last community question, and this is from Darth Navalis. Do you think it's important to be involved in other broadcasters' communities? Obviously, you guys are big friends and you sit in each other's channels a lot. How important is that?
As long as you're not forcing yourself to be. If you genuinely want to be, yes, that's the biggest networking tool you can possibly have, is getting to know other people and being around.
Don't ever look at networking as networking. Look at it as making new friends.
Right.
And on top of that too, as someone that had literally, like, I'm not kidding, like the last 5 months of my life, I definitely, like, a lot of my stuff changed and like what I did. And I am definitely not in Twitch chats half as much as I was when I started. Like, I used to be on Twitch 24/7. I would be streaming, I'd be on Twitch, I'd get done streaming, I'd be on Twitch. And I realize obviously that's unhealthy for anybody to be doing one thing all the time. So I obviously slowed it down, but like, oh my gosh, I can't even explain. Reed, take over real quick. I'm trying to think of the best way.
You don't go into a channel to try and get people to notice you. Like, you go there to, I mean, you want to be a part of someone else's. Like, basically, it's like if you're saying, oh, my friend Tiger is having a party over at his house. I'm gonna go over to my friend Andy's house and hang out with his friends. It's he's got his community. I've got my community. I want to go there. I'm also a part of his community. I mean, you don't want to go, like, you don't want to go into Man vs. Games channel just to be like, hey guys, I'm a streamer, come fucking watch me. Like,
and that's the thing is, like, I still get so confused when people do that, because it's literally an etiquette thing at this point in time, like an unwritten etiquette. Because realistically speaking, like, if you come to my channel and I've had to, like, I actually, like, a couple weeks ago, I had to, like, slam down on it a little more. I think some of my community members that are in here probably even remember, like, I don't ever want to be that guy, but when you come into the channel and the first thing
that's my hound dog.
Is that the bell? Is that the signal?
That's awesome. And the first thing they say is usually, like, they'll be like, oh man, I just got done with my stream. How's everybody doing in here? They think that they're not doing anything wrong. Realistically speaking, you know what you're doing. Yeah. When you say anything about how you or I streamed, you're automatically saying, like, you're automatically telling people I stream. And sorry, that's like a touchy subject for me, because it makes me so mad, because it's just something that's so, if you have, I hate to say this and it's going to sound like an asshole, but if you have a brain at all and you are smart enough at all at trying to do something, you don't just, it's like if you're trying to go out and take someone home, you don't just go up to me like, look at me. Look at me. Fuck, look at me. You're coming home with me tonight, right? Look at me. Look at me. You don't do that. Like, that's not how it works. You walk up to the person, you're like, hello, how you do? Nice to meet you. I'm TigerWriter. Good to have you. Like, I don't know, something other than that. And it's the same thing with being someone in a chat. You don't walk in and you're like, hey. Like, don't get attention, just hang out. Because what I always tell people when they're like, hey, shout me out, I'm like, no, hi, good to see you, but do me a favor and just hang out with us and talk and become a member of the community.
Beautiful.
The thing that pisses me off a lot too, I don't know if you touched on this when I went outside, but someone will come into your stream for, like, they'll be there and say, hey, what's up? Good to see you. How you doing? Minute goes by. Okay, I'm going to go stream now.
Wow.
I'm just like,
why? Like, it's so unnecessary. Like, it doesn't make me mad. It makes me, like, it, like, turns a certain part of my brain into automatically wanting to choke a bitch. Like, I'm not a mean person, I'm not a violent person, but it's just, it's at this point in time with how big Twitch has gotten, it should just be very easy common sense to say, hey, this is not the right way to become a part of this community, and hope that maybe somebody, I can tell you right now, there are people that are probably in this community. Fady and June is a great example of someone that probably does it a very good way. I don't know what he's done on channels. He's been forever. He started streaming. After he started streaming, people from my community knew he started streaming, or I'm sure, and I think I rated him one at a time. That's how that works. You don't just, like, go in and, like, hey, please touch me. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And he's a great example of someone that did it right. Just came in, became a part of the community, and now he's casting and he's started having friends. Like, you just start building your own community. It is what it is.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm very passionate about that.
No, that's okay. We over the course of the show, we've now learned your turn-ons and your turn-offs. I feel like we've got a complete picture of Scarfino and TigerWriter.
One guy still hasn't done the butt thing yet. And
That's
I'm still
true.
kind of pissed
Yeah.
about it. But
We'll give you a private showing after the show. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any shout-outs or anything you want to give before we close up shop for the day?
didn't I do NWA last time or something?
I
can't
believe
remember.
so. Yeah.
Hold on. Can we wolf pack real quick? Can we do that?
Hold on,
Yeah.
Scarfino, pull it
Scarfino's
back.
too far
Scarfino,
in.
pull it back, and there you
There
go.
you
Nailed it.
We do it like
Nailed
it's like
it.
woo it out like 1, 2, 3. Woo! You know what I'm saying? No, you're not. I'm not doing it.
I'm
You can
trying to get
feel
it on
it.
the screen.
There's a connection across the air. That
You were
can feel.
close.
There
You were
go.
close.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute blast, and thank you so much for your insight, and of course for all the times that for letting me talk so frequently about sweat
I have
in
a
a public
shout-out.
setting. Oh, you have
Yes.
a shout out, Scarfino, please.
Shout out to the Nerd Crew. And you're supposed to shout out mine, you bitch. All right, never mind then. Shout out to the Nerd Crew. That's the Hypers community. You're a douche. Fucking douche canoe.
I like news. All right.
Yo, shout out to the riot. Peace.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you to all of you guys that tuned in. We greatly appreciate it. We hope that you had an excellent time while
thank you
you
for having
joined
me.
us. Yeah, no, absolutely. We'd love to have you back again some other time. But that's going to do it for us, folks. If you enjoyed the show, please hit that follow button down below the Twitch window. If you're feeling particularly generous and you want access to sexy emotes, hit that subscribe button. It's $4.99 a month, and we greatly appreciate the support. Thank you so much to our current subscribers for joining the Dot Army. If you want to catch the video after the fact, share it with your friends and relive some of our most embarrassing moments from this show. I know I have a couple. Check us out on youtube.com/daily.esports. For more esports coverage and Twitch information, check out facebook.com/daily.esports. And then over on Twitch @.esports. That's going to do it for us tonight, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Scarfino and TigerWriter for stopping.